Are we on? Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Wasn't sure I was going to stand up today to be able to speak on this. In fact, I wasn't sure we were going to take up issues like this because of COVID. I thought we were going to deal with mostly COVID-related items. And I had a conversation just last week with the author, and she said, "Hey, Chad, where are you at on ACA 5?" And I said, "Huh? What's that?" And we had a little bit of a conversation, and I said to the author, "Give me the weekend. Let me spend a little bit of time digging in." And I've gone from thinking I was an easy no to being a hard yes to I don't know, to be honest with you. Over the weekend, I read the language of Prop 209, and if it's okay, Mr. Speaker, I just want to read the first paragraph, which is really the heart of the proposition. It
Without objection.
It says, "The state shall not discriminate against or grant preferential treatment to any individual group on the basis of race, sex, color, ethnicity, or national origin in the operation of public employment, public education, or public contracting." So I'm 43 years old. It's hard for me to say that now because I've always thought about me being the young guy in the room. So I'm not 41. In 1996, I would have been 19 years old. And I am almost certain that when I was 19 years old, I voted in favor of that language. Because of where I'd come from, I wanted to believe, I still want to believe, that we live in a colorblind world and that there is equal opportunity for all. I wanted to believe, like all of you heard me sing a few years ago, the chorus that we sang when I was in Sunday school. You know, red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in His sight, that we are all equal. I wanted to believe that then, and I voted for it then. That was almost 25 years ago. And if you think about where we're at today as a society, if we are honest with ourselves, race does matter. We're beyond 50 years past the 1964 Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. I didn't grow up in the 1960s, so I don't know what all of that was all about. I was born in the late 70s, and for me, I didn't see all of those things. But when I was 19, I had hoped that we had gotten beyond all of that. And the truth is, 25 years later, it is very clear that we are not beyond that. And the fact is, it has been a generation before Californians have had the ability to be able to stand up and opine on this. And I think it's appropriate for this body, from time to time, looking at our state's constitution, to put those questions back before the voters and say, is this still what you want to be in your constitution? And for that reason, I think it is more than appropriate for us to be able to send this ACA 5, to be able to get it on the ballot in November, and to ask this question of where the Californians want to move in the future. If we just listen, and that, I guess, is the other thing that I would want to say, is we've been, over the last couple of weeks, we've seen this. Everyone says, oh, I've got the answers, because when I was 19 years old, I had all the answers. If you would have asked me then, I was the smartest guy that I knew. Some of you might actually say that, Chad, you haven't changed much. But what I realize is that we don't have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. But when you listen to one another and you learn from one another and you truly listen to one another, like the tone of the conversation today, you realize the perspectives that we all have are valuable. And I would say, as the majority of this body has said, and I believe it's going to be a supermajority of this body has said, it's time to go back and look at this. It's time to give the people of California the right to be able to opine on this. And for that reason, I'll be supporting.